Currently on Twitch. And on YouTube. Let's get both windows open on my screen here so I can see what's going on. And while we're waiting for people to show up, just go download another browser. Anybody who's watching, please enter the chat room. Let us know. Looks like we have one viewer. And 4 YouTube viewers. All right. All right. By the way, I'm not used to having facial hair. I feel very strangely. It's not, there's a big difference between growing a beard and not shaving. If you're on Twitch, we're also on there. Feel free to tune in both places if you like. Just bear with us a minute here. We're going to get to our live stream in a moment. Hey, viewers. Greetings. Denmark, British Columbia, Barbara Fritchie, and 0 Point. Welcome to the live stream. Trying to figure out what we're doing here. We're going through comments. Space. Cut myself off. All right. Apologize for any screen shaking or bad audio, as we're not really set up for this operation. We will eventually have music in the background, etc. Yes, growing a beard drives me crazy. Part of the reason is because I bought a clippers and I can't figure out if it works or doesn't work. Sometimes it trips the GFI, sometimes it doesn't trip the GFI. Can't decide if I'm gonna. It's going soon. It's not gonna be staying around much longer, that's for sure. Maybe I could dress up as Jim the Anvil Neidhart. If I just put on like 150 pounds. All right, I'm going to have to take myself off of camera here. All right, there we go. Just downloading a browser here on my PC. All right, installing a new browser. Looks like I have one viewer on Twitch, and that's me, but I never post there, so that's going to be a new thing. If any of you are on twitch.com, check out twitch.com/smAshomAsh. We're going to be putting stuff up there. Eventually doing exclusives and so on. We do have a Patreon and stuff, but we don't put everything everywhere because it requires a ton of effort. All right. And how many are watching? I don't see an indication. Can anybody comment on how many are viewing the video on YouTube? All right, in any case, since this will get posted every place, first of all, we'd like to let you know that a lot of the music that you hear on these on the regular space weather videos are available at soundclick.com/goldencatproductions. And there's a link right there in the video. Obviously, you can't click on it, but anyway, let's look at some interesting comments. How about... Okay, 7 watching. Thank you. All right, let's look at some comments here. This is from our video from November 28th. The title was Space Weather, Coronal Hole, Electron Shortage. We covered some Sagittarius A star and so on. Paul Hodson says fake sun by NASA. To which I responded, thank you for your comment. Real Get a Clue by smAshomAsh. Paul Hodson states, no problem. Fake sun. And a link to fake NASA sun video on YouTube. Space is fake CGI. NASA lies. Satellites don't exist. Moon and Mars landing fake. Earth is flat. Research flat Earth. Satan's globe lie. Another YouTube link. Whew. NASA says it's a flat plane. In a document from 1207, I guess. And also scientism spelled incorrectly. And then a link to an article where scientism is spelled correctly. Keith Full says especially like the detail of weather convergence and pointing out electric components. Interesting. Which I will now open up in a new tab. That's our Instagram page, by the way. And there's some Lichtenberg patterns. I don't know what goes on with screen orientation. Convergence in the Atlantic, endorsed channel shoutouts, and indoor tomatoes posted on the day before that one, actually. We were getting a lot of interesting comments back then. Here's David Devine. Somebody commenting on our Pleco, how he looks hungry. He's not hungry, by the way. He has a massive gut. Here we go. Here's one. The attempted brainwashing of a new electrically driven atmosphere. Jeez. What else do we got? Let me guess. NASA already has our Christmas weather planned. Huge snowstorm nor'easter for mid-Atlantic on Christmas Eve. Geez, I think he was only off by a few miles on that one. How about that? Shout out snowflake vaccine. Nice call. I guess you were right. NASA must have it planned. It was too far ahead for me to believe at the time, nearly a full month. But hey, way to nail it. Dennis Nagel says the red color is military spray planes. He counted at least 5 in that volley last night. By the way, he's looking at a satellite image that has a 2-kilometer resolution. So those must have been some big planes. Anyway, my response was, allow me to take this opportunity to say in an extremely dismissive fashion that all of the moonlanders in all of the Apollo missions were made of at least 5 cases of Ritz crackers. A little known thing. The sooner you understand the moon is made of green cheese, the sooner you understand the science, stop believing lies, and turn to the truth. Little known fact, Apollo landers made of Ritz crackers to capitalize on the green cheese resources. Next, we have a video from the 24th, a few days before that. Just kind of went down the list. Michael Castile says, hi, New York. Thank you, Johnny H. Thank you, 0 Point and Ula Udrup. Ula Udrup? Is that right? Help us get to 1,000 subscribers. Anyway, let's read some comments. Michael Castile says, hell, I think your videos are entertaining. Anthony C., great stuff. Your work yesterday on debunking chemtrails was good too. Oh, a predecessor to some of the weeds we're going to get into. Snowflake Vaccine asks, thoughts on the source of the X-ray spike? Maybe Deneb, or that strange flaring on the sun. Dennis Nagel says, if you compare 14 to layer 16, what's the explanation for the coldest, newest red-colored clouds being comprised of high levels of CO2? Especially given that the area was previously devoid of high levels of CO2 prior to the appearance of the cloud. Probably couldn't resist responding to that one. Right. Now I think I understand what you're saying, and I will attempt to compare the layers soon. He's talking about the GOES 14 and the GOES 16. And honestly, I can't remember what that was all about. Something not normal. Oh, yeah, that's not normal at 9:36. Snowflake Vaccine says, huge patch of dry air surrounded by moisture on all sides. Maybe a ton of smart dust sprayed. So I said, so chemtrails are now stuff you can see as well as stuff that you can't see? If you could see the visible satellite at that point, that's the spot where there are no clouds. The idea behind aerosols for moving clouds around requires clouds to chase the chemtrails. That is, you make the pressure lower in front of where you want the clouds to go. Geoengineering does not create cold, dry areas, etc. Yes, at 1,000 subscribers, we'll drink, but not drive. We'll definitely not drive. Which, by the way, don't drive. Snowflake Vaccine says, guessing whoever you work for or go to college has you brainwashed into believing chemtrails are only for crazy people. Sounds like government brainwashing to me. By the way, I don't work for the government, nor have I ever worked for any government, police force, military organization, spying organization, intelligence gathering organization. Nope. I'm 100% private. Anyway, that brings us into some other stuff we're going to cover here, which is we're not denying that geoengineering exists. We know it exists. We have known its existence for ages. Things like persistent contrails are not proof of spray planes, and nobody's really spraying anything from planes. This article here from technologyreview.com is about China building one of the world's largest geoengineering programs. And this is huge, but this is to prevent drought on the Tibetan Plateau with ground-based burning facilities. What they do is they accelerate the particulate into the air by using furnaces. I'm not sure if there's any photos of the apparatus on this one. I think there is one somewhere. Just bear with us. Let me see here. I thought there was a link there, but in any case, China's using ground-based stuff, which they're putting at a high altitude. You know, the Tibetan Plateau is at a high altitude, so looks like we got a bad request on climateviewer.com. I don't know what happened there. What happened, Climate Viewer? We thought the request was just fine. I'm not sure if that one's going to have it or not. Let me see. There you go. There's one of the operations. That's what it looks like. So we're not denying that geoengineering exists. We know it exists. It's just that every time you see a contrail overhead, that's not necessarily a cue to point and say, chemtrails, geoengineering. Commercial aircraft are not doing it. People that live by airports, you're all seeing, it is pollution. It is pollution. You know, it's caused by, you've got low pressure behind the plane. You've got extra low pressure behind the engines. You've got some carbon and other tiny, tiny amounts of particulate coming out of the plane, which is creating a matrix on which, water droplets to condense onto clouds. That's a real thing. That is pollution. And that does increase the Earth's albedo. In other words, that does bounce radiation back into space. You know, if you're in the northern hemisphere and you live north of an airport, it's going to be a little cooler where you are because of the albedo effect. Absolutely. But that doesn't mean every plane flying over is intentionally spraying chemicals out of it. They don't have the capability to do that. And the real place you want to do that is in the stratosphere if you're going to idiotically geoengineer, which is one of the stupidest ideas ever proposed by mankind, by the way, especially during a solar minimum. Thank you, Rod. Now, India's doing it too. Is it working? Not really. Still incredibly hot there. During a solar minimum, parts of the planet do get cooler, parts get warmer. And, parts get drier and parts get wetter. For instance, Alaska gets warmer at a solar minimum. But Antarctica gets colder, and whoa, does England ever get colder? Yes, China has messed around with high altitude stuff in the ionosphere too. Everybody knows about HARP. Nobody's denying that HARP exists. We're just denying that all the contrails you see above your head are chemtrails. Next, I want to look at this article. The reason that we're doing all this geoengineering stuff right now is because we're prefacing our official geoengineering video, chemtrail debunking video. We're prefacing that with this video because we've got some pilots and other aerospace professionals that we're going to interview, asking them about chemtrails. See if they're people that are going to obfuscate the truth or if they're going to tell you the truth. Anyway, here's another situation. This is just from this year, July 5th, 2018. Bulgaria, by that point, Bulgaria has launched 9,785 rockets against 1,009 hail clouds because they're having horrible hailstorms in Bulgaria. And it's causing massive crop losses, as would be noted by Ice Age farmer Christian Westbrook. So in any case, we're not denying geoengineering. We're not suggesting it isn't one of the stupidest ideas in the history of mankind. Some people are doing it. It's just not on a large scale, and it's just not coming from airplanes. Also, Harvard is poised to idiotically do this. Again, it's not going to be on a large scale. Here's an article from Business Insider only a few days ago, 1 week. Yeah, so what we're going to do is, in order to combat this, we're going to spray other chemicals into the air because of this imagined CO2 effect, which, by the way, isn't a greenhouse gas, and it never was a greenhouse gas. So, yeah, so Harvard's on the case. Don't worry. Don't worry. Harvard's going to save the place in a last-ditch effort. Again, it's not going to be on a large scale. Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to do an experiment. It has to be on a small scale, or you wouldn't be able to test all the data. But it's all an attempt to cool the planet. And then, since temperature lags the solar activity by about 2 years due to the latency of heat in the oceans, the Earth's going to get colder, and then they're going to say, hey, we fixed it. We geoengineered the place back into functionality. Don't worry, everybody. You're going to live after all as long as we keep geoengineering. Paintball netting works as hail screen. Hey, that's a good point. Maybe if the you-know-what hits the fan, a good place to go would be a driving range. You could just rip down that netting and stretch it over a nice piece of grass and grow some crops. Let's go back to some comments. I can't remember what this one was. December 1st. Terrence Leonard says, I am a first-time viewer. I like what I see. I will be back until you get big and bogged down with advertising. All right. We're not selling out yet. More references from Adapt 2030. Thanks again, David Devine. We didn't receive the Joe Rogan boost yet, but we got the David Devine boost, so that's something. Personal coach says, great work. I hope you started stocking foodstuffs. I mainly go by the 100 things to disappear first list. All the food items. Last week, Walmart had a canned tuna with 2023 expiration date and sockeye salmon. So tasty, by the way. Also 2023. So I added 3 cases of each to my stocks. It's that simple, playa. It's that simple, playa. Just do it ongoing. If Walmart runs out of those big powdered garlic, it's all my fault. The main thing is to start before everyone starts GSM stocking. Wheat prices are still pretty low considering where they were in 2009, folks. Robert Genneth Gitcher says, yo to my new dude buddy bro man. A bro David D sent me and I got to say I like the cut of your solar jib. I will be back. Peace, heart, fist, prayer hands, looking at it. Stonehenge, no, Easter Island, and a lightning bolt. Snowflake Vaccine's back to say alternative fake news. Uh-oh, this is a long thread. I'm not sure if we should read that one or not. We'll read it. Adapt and Diamond recommended me. Sounds like a reference to Oppenheimer Ranch Project. Has anybody seen a plug for our channel on Oppenheimer Ranch Project, or any of the channels we feature besides Adapt 2030? Anybody? BD Meyer says replace black hole with galactic plasmoid and you've got yourself a deal. Totally agree. And I said, you're 100% correct. We always call them massive radio sources. Deal? Yeah, when I was 14, I always wondered why they called them massive radio sources. Probably because some astronomers realized cosmology was broken. Anyway, let's go to the alternative fake news thread. That sounds fun. I'm sure that won't be a disaster. Viewer poll preliminary. Ban Aluminum Rain's non-science propaganda in the comments or let Aluminum Rain to make a complete fool of himself. Little backstory there. Aluminum Rain changed his name, so it's now known as Snowflake Vaccine, and it doesn't have any content. Whoops, we missed our thread. All right, let me get back to that. I apologize. Desert Coyote. Okay, great. I didn't see the plug for us on Oppenheimer. Do you know what video that was in by chance? Because we never saw that happen. Or did he just tell you personally or something? Oh, that's cool. All right. All right, back to this thread here. So anyway, Snowflake Vaccine used to be called Aluminum Rain. That's why that happened. Snowflake Vaccine says, let's let the audience decide. Joe the Foe says, these beats ain't fake, yo. Oh man, you unsub GSM because of me? Geez, that's no good. Thanks, I think. Yes, we did see David Debine's video. He informed us of that, and we were delighted. That was the biggest, I think that was probably the biggest increase in subscribers we had. The other one being an old video that we did when the moon went between the SDO and the sun. That was pretty amusing. Peter says, I feel very sorry for Aluminum Rain. Whoever this person is, they're doing themselves a big disservice and have no idea that SHTF very big time is on the way. CVN DQ says, I'm new. What's fake? And I said, you can lead a commenter to water, but you can't make them think. How do they deny science? Let's see. Space is fake. The sun is fake. Not sure what else because nobody cares. Just read previous comments and you probably wonder what dude is talking about and you may lose IQ points. Yeah, so I guess Diamond did recommend me. I watched all of his videos. I mean, I don't know where it happened. Anyway, super cool. We're going to do more of these live streams in the future, by the way. We're just making sure we got all of our ducks in the row. Yeah, so I'll give you some scenery. because we're just about to get out of here. We'll multitask. We'll look at the SDO data together. Let's see if it loads this time. All right. Anything else? Anybody? Any requests? Any questions? This was just kind of a test press here, and I liked the way it came out. I thought it was all right. AmbiHost just posted a link to our music page if anybody wants to go listen to some. You can stream it for free. And most of the songs you can download them, I think, for 99 cents. We just sold 2 songs a couple days ago. Imagine that. 2 songs in your MP3 collection for less than $2. Why are you sawing a building in half? The DHS is currently warning an EMP. Let's get me back on camera so I can show you how scared I am. Oh my gosh, there's an EMP coming. Oh, what are we going to do? And there goes my computer. Not good. Oh man, not good. Technical difficulties. And I just killed my PC. Wonderful. Just perfect. And that is how to end a live stream. Whew. And that, my friends, is why not to leave your case open and then sit right next to it and then kick wires into your processor fan. Don't worry, it's set up right. It shut down before it overheated. In any case, hey, thanks for tuning in. We're getting the hell out of this computer room because, frankly, I've had enough computer for one day. Remember, on your way drinking, don't drive. And on your way driving, don't drink. And stay off the roads because I might be on them. Holla!